Councilman arrives, I will need the parties and the court reporter to briefly join me in the jury room.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If the parties and the court reporter can join me in the jury room. Just again to reiterate what we've already discussed concerning jury selection through the process this morning, the parties are to refer to the prospective jurors by their numbers, not by any names. Deputy Hamlin, are you going to be in charge of giving them their numbers?
That's what you want to do.
Well, or Deputy Eldridge, whoever is handling it, please double check to make sure the number and the name match so there's no confusion with the record. What's that? They were sworn in, when they were qualified, so the process is never Of the voir dire will be conducted here together in the courtroom today. Voir dire is a French term meaning to speak the truth. Earlier this week, prior to the individual questioning, you were sworn in to do just that, to answer all questions truthfully that are posed to you as a part of this jury selection process. First, this morning, I will be asking you some questions, and after I have finished, the attorneys will have some questions for you as well. This will be the attorney's only opportunity in this trial process to directly engage in conversation with you. The purpose of the questioning by the attorneys is to assist them in determining if your verdict in this case would be unduly swayed or influenced in some way by your personal experiences, any opinions that you currently hold, or any special knowledge and training that you may possess. The object of this process is to select jurors who will impartially try the issues of this case that will be based on the evidence that is presented in the courtroom without being influenced by any other factors. It is very important that you be totally candid and truthful with us today. At parts during this jury selection, once again, I will be reading to you. Not that I do not wish to just have a normal or free-flowing conversation, but the instruction on the law that I will provide to you, again, it must be specific and it must be uniform. Please understand throughout this process today, there will be no wrong or right answers to any of the questions that are posed to you. Your answers are what you think and what you actually believe. The attorneys are not attempting to embarrass you in any way. If any question is asked that you feel uncomfortable answering in open court, please let me know, and you'll have an opportunity to answer that question either at sidebar or in a more private setting. Each party to this case has the right to excuse a certain number of jurors without giving me any reason whatsoever. If you are excused by either side, please do not feel offended or feel that your honesty or integrity has been questioned in some manner. If you are not chosen for this case, it does not mean that you are not fair and impartial. It also does not mean that you could never be fair and impartial. It just means that you may not be suited for this particular case. It may be necessary during the jury selection process today, as well as during the trial, for me to speak with the attorneys and the defendant about matters that are private at the bench or out of the room. Please do not speculate about any bench conference or what may occur during those bench conferences. The bench conferences should in no way affect your duty as a prospective juror in this matter. We have several bailiffs who will be working with us today and throughout the trial, and it is their job to enforce the court's orders, provide any security that is necessary, and for them also to have charge of the jury, to assist you with any reasonable needs that you may have. If you have questions about your personal welfare, apart from the questions in this case, you should direct those questions to the bailiffs. However, please do not ask the bailiffs any questions about this case whatsoever. I am now going to ask each of you about your prior jury service if you have previously served. And for the members of the gallery, my questioning is going to be directed at first to the initial 21 jurors who are seated to my left. If for whatever reason we are not able to select a jury out of this grouping, I will be calling upon people from the gallery to fill empty seats. Although you will not be speaking with me or the attorneys quite yet if you're in the gallery, it is very important that you pay attention to everything that is taking place, because the moment you are seated in one of the 21 spots to be questioned, we need to pick up seamlessly from where we leave off. I'm going to ask this question to the group of 21 as a whole. If you have a response of yes to any of these questions, please raise your hand. Would you please tell us where and when you previously served on a jury, if at all? Please leave your hand up and also your number. Juror 2, when did you previously serve on a jury?
About 4 years ago here.
All right. Was it a criminal or civil proceeding?
Criminal.
Do you recall the type of charge or the type of case that it was?
Aggravated assault.
Without telling us the verdict, did your prior jury reach a verdict?
Yes.
Were you the foreperson of that jury?
No.
Thank you. Please leave your flags up. Juror number 9, please tell us where and when you previously served on a jury.
About 2.5 years ago,
All right. Was that here in Leon County or elsewhere?
here in Leon County.
Was it a criminal or civil proceeding?
Criminal proceedings.
Do you recall what type of charge or what type of case it was?
I believe it was assault and attempted rape.
Without telling us the verdict, did the jury reach a verdict in that matter?
I wasn't aware of it.
Say that one more time.
The judge dismissed me as an alternate before the jury made a verdict.
Very well. Thank you. I believe there's two other flags up. Juror 17, please tell us when and where you previously served on a jury.
Here in Leon County, approximately 18 months ago.
All right. Criminal or civil case?
Criminal. It was animal abuse or animal cruelty.
And without telling us the verdict in the matter, did your prior jury reach a verdict?
Yes, I was not the jury for.
Thank you. Juror 19, please tell us when and where you previously served on a jury.
It was LA County in California.
Was it a criminal or civil proceeding?
Criminal.
Do you recall the type of charge or case that it was?
It was a criminal threat.
Without telling us the verdict, did your jury reach a verdict? Prior jury, I should say.
No.
Were you the foreperson of the jury?
No, it was
Were there any other flags that I missed? For those of you that have not previously been called to jury duty, there is no experience requirement to serve on a jury. Oh, Juror 1, did you have your flag up?
No.
Oh, you're just holding in your hand.
Yes.
Wanted to make sure. You do not need to know any law or procedure. All of that will be explained to you throughout this process. All that is going to be required of you is to listen carefully, apply, and follow the instructions that you will be given on the law, and use your common sense in deciding any issues of fact. The state of Florida in this case is going to be represented by Assistant State Attorneys Georgia Kappelman and Sarah Dugan. The defendant is going to be represented by Josh Zellman and Jackie Fulford. Mr. Zellman, would you please introduce your co-counsel, client, and the rest of the defense team to the prospective jurors?
Morning. Joshua Zellman. My co-counsel is Jackie Fulford. This is our client, Donna Adelson. It's my paralegal, Rebecca Kessler. It's a jury consultant, Lilia Dandelake, and our undergraduate intern, Yamila Morsani.
Question again is to the group as a whole. Are any of you related by blood or marriage to any of the attorneys or the other people that were introduced to you? If the answer is yes, please raise your flags. No response was given by the prospective jurors concerning that question. Once again, this question is posed to the group as a whole, 1 through 21. Are any of you related by blood or marriage to the defendant, or do you know the defendant? Please raise your flags if the answer is yes. No flags have been raised for the record. Mrs. Kappelman, at this time, if you please could give us the names of the witnesses that the state may call during this trial. Members of the panel, please pay careful attention to these names. I will have follow-up questions after Mrs. Kappelman and Mr. Zellman have spoke on this matter. Go ahead.
Investigator Brittany Adams with the State Attorney's Office, Charlie Adelson, Rob Adelson, Wendi Adelson, Sergeant Sherry Bennett with the Tallahassee Police Department, Drina Bernhardt, Officer Bill Brannon with the Tallahassee Police Department, Special Agent Greg Bronstein with the FBI, Kate Butler with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Patricia Bird, Special Agent Justin Karsten with the FBI, Dr. Anthony Clark, Deputy Amanda Collins with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Chris Corbett is with the Tallahassee Police Department, Investigator Brock Dietz with the U.S. Fire Marshal's Office, Investigator Michael Dillmore with the Tallahassee Police Department, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sigfredo Garcia, Jim Geiger, Sharon Geiger. Detective Jonathan Grossman is with the Miami Police Department. Sergeant Corey Hale with the Tallahassee Police Department. Mary Hull. Craig Isom is retired from the Tallahassee Police Department. Oscar Jimenez is retired from the FBI. Erica Johnson. Tara Kawas. Special Agent Brian Kendall with the FBI. Forensic Specialist Cornegay is retired from the Tallahassee Police Department. His first name's William, or Bill. Jeffrey Lacasse. Clariza Labredo, now with the last name Spoltor. Catherine Magbanoa. Joanne Maltese is retired from the Tallahassee Police Department. David Marcus. Keith McElveen. Investigator Jason Newland with the State Attorney's Office here in Tallahassee. Waldo Nunez. Shadrick Nobles. Dr. Jerome Obed. Scott Radius. Danny Beth Ritchie is with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Luis Rivera. Jessica Rodriguez. Carrie Rosanna with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Special Agent Pat Sanford with the FBI. Lisa Shelby. Stuart Schlazer. David Sims is retired from the Tallahassee Police Department. Got Robert Schwartz. Yes, Robert Schwartz. Danny Tiero. Detective Josh Turner with the Leon County Sheriff's Office. June Umchinda. Yendra Velasquez Mascaro. Stephen Webster. Sean Yao with the Tallahassee Police Department, and Sarah Youssef.
Gentlemen, are there any other witnesses who may be called by the defense that were not on the list that was just read by counsel for the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you may inform the panel as to those names as well, the potential witnesses.
Thank you. Ann Cunningham, Ron Gutterson, Dr. Ruth Rosenberg, Lisa Carey, Detective Michael Ozemba, Detective Nicholas Kelly, both of them with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, Timothy Kelly, Kristen Adamson, Marisol Descalzo, Linda Bailey, Eddie Barnes, Kelsey Guai with Roll-Off Digital Forensics, Tarana Khan, Mickey Easterwood, Felicia Hills with the Leon County Detention Center, Bryce Google, Undersheriff for Leon County Sheriff's Office, and Sarah Newhouse.
Thank you. For our panel, I know that was a long list of names that was just read by both the state and the defense, but I'm going to ask these questions to the entire grouping once again. Do any of you know any of the witnesses that were identified by either party? Please raise your flags if that is so. All right, we'll start with Juror 10. Which potential witness are you referring to?
Last name Sanford. I know his wife. She's a substitute teacher, and I knew her husband was in law enforcement.
All right. And the capacity that you have known Mrs. Sanford is through teaching, I believe?
She is subbed for my class before I'm a teacher, and her students went to my school, so I know her.
All right. Would your acquaintance with Agent Sanford in any way prevent you from considering his testimony with impartiality?
No, sir.
Would your relationship with or knowledge of Agent Sanford or his wife cause you to give either greater or lesser weight to the testimony?
No, sir.
Juror 11. Who is the potential witness that you believe you know?
There were two, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Lisa Carey, if she is a real estate agent. She's actually pretty good friends with a business partner of mine. I don't know her that well, but I do work for her from time to time. And then the second was Mickey Easterwood. She was a childhood friend. Haven't seen her in 30 years, but did know her quite well when we were growing up.
All right. Would your acquaintance with either of the persons that you have just named prevent you from considering their testimony with impartiality?
No, sir.
Would your relationship with or knowledge of either witness cause you to give greater or less weight to that testimony?
No, sir.
Thank you. Was there anyone else who knew one of the potential witnesses? Juror 4, if you please could say the name.
Mr. Dietz, Rob Dietz.
All right. In what capacity do you know this witness?
He's the husband, I believe, of my former tutor.
Okay.
Judge, we can't hear.
If you can speak up, it's hard for them to hear.
He's the husband of my former tutor growing up, my math tutor growing up.
Would your acquaintance with this witness prevent you from considering his testimony with impartiality? When you say you don't think so, we're going to need a little bit more clarity. Is your relationship as such where you are going to give greater weight or less weight to his testimony? And apply equal weight to all witnesses? Any other flags that I may have missed? I'll give you a moment just to think about it because there were a lot of names that were read, just in case you recognize any of the potential witnesses that were read by the state or defendant. Very well, we will move on at this point. I am now going to ask each juror a series of questions. Please respond fully to these questions. This is to obtain some general information from you, and also the attorneys may follow up with more specific questions when they have their opportunity to examine. For juror number 1, what is your occupation or the type of work that you do?
I'm a clinical pharmacy tech.
What is your marital status?
Single.
Do you have any children, and what would be their ages?
Two children. One is 1 and one is 19.
All right. For your 19-year-old, how are they employed?
She's a college student.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 2008.
Do you have any close friends or neighbors or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No.
Do you have any close friends, relatives, neighbors, or have you yourself been charged with a crime?
When I was 20,
Right. What is the name of the offense?
it was reduced to a simple battery.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror number 2, what is your occupation or what is your type of work?
Construction manager at Habitat for Humanity.
What is your marital status?
Divorced.
Do you have children?
Yes. An 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter.
And I assume they do not work.
Nice.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 97.
Do you have any close friends or neighbors or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No. Okay.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
DUI when I was 20.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror 3, what is your occupation or type of work?
I'm a small business owner.
What is the type of business?
I have a booth at the other side vintage, and I also help my friend run her shop in Midtown.
This is the best free advertising you're ever going to get. You said it's in Midtown?
Her shop is, yeah.
All right, please repeat the name.
Rare Bird Interiors.
What is your marital status?
Married.
Right. What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
He's a wealth management advisor.
Do you have children?
No.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 1996,
Do you have any close friends or neighbors or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I grew up, my best friend growing up, her dad is FHP.
Have you, any close friends, or any relatives ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives ever been a victim of a crime?
I have not like a first uncle, but I think a second uncle who was murdered. But I don't know the details of it.
So this is a distant relative.
Yeah. My uncle's brother, but like, he's like my dad's nephew. So, I've never met him.
I'm no genealogy expert, but suffice to say,
Yeah.
you had a relationship with this person to where it affected you.
Yeah, right.
All right. Juror number 4, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm an information referral specialist at the Elder Helpline.
All right, please repeat that one more time. This is going to be a recurring thing. Please speak as loudly as you can.
I'm an information and referral specialist at the Elder Helpline.
Thank you. Are you married?
I'm single.
Do you have any children?
No.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 2000.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror 5, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm a nurse.
What is your marital status?
I'm single.
Do you have any children?
No.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
26 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, Your Honor.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Juror 6, what is your occupation or type of work?
I'm associated at Walmart.
What is your marital status?
Single.
Do you have any children? How long have you lived in this county? 2022 is when you moved here? All right. Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement? Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime? Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime? Thank you. Juror 7, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm a pastor, Your Honor.
What is your marital status?
I'm married.
What does your spouse do if they work?
She stays at home.
Do you have any children?
I have 3.
What are their ages?
Yeah, they're 8, about to turn 7, and almost 3.
So they are not working.
No.
How long have you lived in this county?
We moved here in June of 2025.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I do.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Yes, my father was charged with grand theft auto, but it was dismissed.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Juror number 8, what is your occupation or the type of work that you do?
I'm an application developer designer at FSU, and I'm also a PhD student.
What is your marital status?
I'm married.
What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
She does work, and she does internal funding and grant coordination for FSU.
Right. Do you have children?
Yes, sir. We have 2, a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And they do not work.
No, sir. Just at school.
How long have you lived in this county?
About 4 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, sir.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Yes, sir. When I was a teenager, I was charged with possession less than 20 grams and obstruction of justice.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, sir.
I believe when we did the individual session, we asked you to follow up with your PhD program concerning your ability to serve. Were you able to do that?
Well, I needed the specific date range to ask, and I wasn't sure of the dates, so I haven't really been able to talk to my professors about when to ask for an allowance for, unfortunately. I have everything drafted up and ready to speak with my advisors and everything, but I wasn't sure of when to ask for.
What we're anticipating right now would be tomorrow through September 5th.
Okay, yes, sir. I can get in touch with them today.
Thank you.
Judge, we had discussed possibly going through the night.
If we need to get there, but first, for the dates that we know are firm, let's start with Friday through September 5th.
Thank you, sir.
Juror 9, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I work as an IT specialist for the state of Florida.
What is your marital status?
Single.
Do you have any children at all?
No, sir.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
27 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, sir.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No, sir.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, sir.
Thank you. Juror 10, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm a 5th grade math and science teacher.
What is your marital status?
I'm divorced.
Do you have any children?
Two boys, 25 and 21 next week.
What are their occupations if they work?
Both are full-time students. My oldest just quit a job at a credit union, and my youngest is a cook at Red Elephant.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 1988.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, Your Honor.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
So 2 misdemeanors when I was 20 and 21, adjudication was withheld. For
What are the offenses, if you recall?
underage drinking and open container. It was a long time ago.
I assume you're fully rehabilitated. Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Juror number 11, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm an irrigation technician with the city of Tallahassee.
What is your marital status?
Divorced.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir, 4.
What are their ages and what do they do if they work?
30, she works at Dollar General as a manager. 26, stay-at-home mom. 23 and 21, and they both do YouTube videos.
You appear to have a bit of distress about
They
that.
make more money than I do.
Stand corrected. How long have you lived in this county?
Raised here since '76, left in 2006 for the military for 20 years and came back 2017 and have been here since.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, sir.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
I was arrested a year and a half ago on a warrant, a felony warrant. Turned out not to be me. It was a brother using my identity. So all charges against me were dropped. I don't know if that's the answer to that question.
No, that is a very important answer. So there is not any pending prosecution at this time for
No,
you?
sir. Not against me, anyway.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
Yes, for identity theft, or the previous answer.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Juror 12, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm a software engineer at Civic Plus.
What is your marital status?
I'm divorced.
Do you have any children?
I do. I have a daughter who's 21, and she's employed at General Dynamics Land Systems.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Born here in 1970, moved away, came back in 93, and I've been here since then.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No,
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
no,
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
My girlfriend
in Portland, Washington, Portland, Oregon. Portland was pushed down and assaulted and had her phone stolen and her identity stolen. This was about a year ago.
Thank you. Juror 13, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Pastor.
What is your marital status?
Married.
What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
She stays at home.
Do you have any children?
I have 4, Your Honor. 11, 9, 8, and 5.
And I assume they do not work.
They do not, although they should.
How long have you lived in this county?
For almost 11 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
I can't answer for certainty. I have a sister who I believe was arrested and charged for violating a court order. I believe so, because I don't know. She lives out of state. And then the next question, I believe she was a victim of spousal abuse.
And this is the same sister you're referring
Same
to?
sister.
All right. Thank you, sir. Juror 14, what is your occupation or type of work?
I'm a student and I work part-time for a trade union.
What is your marital status?
Divorce.
What is your spouse's occupation, or excuse me, do you have children?
I do not.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
I was born and raised here, and with exception of 2019 through 2023.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I do.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror 15, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Pest control.
You can speak up. Everyone needs to hear you. What is your marital status?
Single.
Do you have any children?
About 2 years old.
And I assume they do not work.
No.
How long have you lived in this county?
Since 2021.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Relative possession of marijuana.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror 16, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I work for the State Department of Health abstracting information on non-fatal drug overdoses off of medical exam records.
Sounds complicated. What is your marital status?
Single?
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived in this county?
Since 2012 with a gap from August of May 2015 to August 2016.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I don't know my neighbors' occupations, but no friends or relatives.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Ticketed for driving without headlights in 2016.
I believe that's a civil infraction, but I applaud your honesty. Is what we need. Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
My brother was non-fatally stabbed in, I believe, 2022.
Thank you. Juror 17, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Work in healthcare IT, currently for Gainwell Technologies, engaged in a couple of state Medicaid claim system implementation projects.
I'm sorry, say all of that again.
I'm sorry. Healthcare IT, I work for Gainwell Technology, engaged on 2 state Medicaid claim system implementation projects currently.
Right. Was everyone able to clearly hear?
They're going to need to speak up, Judge.
All right. If there's a microphone near you, if you can angle it back to the 3rd row so that way everyone can be clearly heard. In the process, don't tap the microphones. It might cause some feedback. One more time, Juror 17.
Healthcare IT, I work for Gainwell Technologies, engaged on 2 state Medicaid claim system implementation projects.
What is your marital status?
I'm married. My wife is an office manager, works for a local communication firm.
Right. Do you have any children?
I do. A 20-year-old daughter. She's a full-time student at Florida State and works at a puzzle room place, mystery room place.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
50 years, all of them.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I do have a brother-in-law that works for FWC.
And that's the Wildlife Commission you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you or any close friends or relatives ever been charged with a crime?
I was arrested for trespassing when I was 15. Yes.
Have you or any close friends or relatives ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Thank you. Juror 18, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Entrepreneur.
If you could elaborate on that a little bit further.
I would like to discuss all work-related issues in sidebar.
That's fine. What is your marital status?
Single?
Do you have any children?
No.
How long have you lived in this county?
8 months?
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any close friends, relatives, or neighbors that have been charged with a crime? Or have you as well? Go ahead.
I'm estranged from my family, but there's potentially some crimes there.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, sir.
Thank you. Juror 19, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Department manager at Hobby Lobby.
What is your marital status?
Married.
What does your spouse do if they work?
He's a retired teacher.
Do you have children?
Yes, she's 32, lives in Philadelphia. She's an event coordinator at a hotel.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since summer of 21.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
My dad's a retired deputy sheriff.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
I had somebody break into my house and steal some of my stuff.
Thank you. Juror 20, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I am a retired claims adjudicator for Social Security disability.
What is your marital status?
Widow.
Do you have any children?
Yes, 2 sons,
What are their ages?
44 and 31.
Do they work?
The 44-year-old does. The 31-year-old is currently incarcerated.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 1984.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives in law enforcement?
I have a nephew that's a corrections officer for the last 30 years, and also a cousin that's with the Gadsden County Sheriff Department.
Thank you. Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Back in my late 20s, I had a charge of public assistance fraud, but the adjudication wasn't held.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
Yes, I had a break-in my house about maybe 13 years ago, but my alarm scared them off, so they weren't able to actually get anything.
Thank you, ma'am. Juror 21, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm currently unemployed, but I am a full-time student.
What is your marital status?
Single.
Do you have any children?
No.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
For almost 22 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
Yes.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
If I'm remembering correctly, did you also need to check with your university or program concerning your ability to serve?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to do so?
Yes, I emailed my professors, and only one responded. He said missing the 3 weeks would be kind of a burden for me, but it would be possible for me to make up the work.
Right? Thank you. Yes, juror number 1.
Yeah, I want to apologize. I'm actually divorced. I said single, but it was a long time ago. I kind of forget to say it.
I'll forgive you. Juror 4.
To be honest.
Yes, I'm sorry if I forgot that from yesterday. Go ahead.
They sent a letter that it would be detrimental. I missed 3 weeks of my program. So I brought the letter for you with that.
Very well. If you please can bring it to the clerk, I will review it in just a moment. Juror 3.
I also forgot about a crime a family member committed. I have an aunt that was charged with prostitution.
Right. Juror 10.
So you had asked me yesterday to check with my administrator about
Yes.
getting someone to cover my class.
Yes.
She contacted 3 people, but none of them could do it. I contacted a former teacher. She's unable to do it as well. There are subs out there. It just won't be one permanent sub for the whole 3 weeks. So it would be somewhat of a burden to my class and myself preparing for that.
Parties can briefly approach. What is your marital status?
Married.
And what does your spouse do if they work?
We also stay in Wendi Adelson.
Do you have children?
No.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
18 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No.
Have you, any close friends, relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No. Not at all.
All right, to go back to the other questions that were previously asked while you were seated in the gallery, have you ever previously served on a jury?
Yes.
When did you serve on a jury?
Over years ago.
Was it in Leon County?
Yes.
Criminal or civil proceeding?
Criminal.
Do you recall the type of charge or case?
I believe it's drunk driving.
Driving under the influence.
Yes.
Right? Without telling us what the verdict was, did the jury reach a verdict? Were you the foreperson? Were you the foreperson of the jury? That is the person who presides over deliberations and gives the verdict form to the bailiff. So you were the foreperson.
Not the foreperson.
You were not the foreperson. Okay. Do you know either of or any of the attorneys or their staffs? Do you know or have any relationship by blood or marriage to the defendant? The names that were read aloud as to the potential witnesses in this case, did you recognize any of those names? Thank you. Juror 23, what is your occupation or your type of work?
Spray tech supervisor at FSU.
What is your marital status?
Married.
What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
She's the bookkeeper at Leon High School.
Do you have children?
Yes.
What are their ages and occupations if they work?
20 and 21. The 21-year-old, she's a full-time student at FSU, and my 20-year-old, she is employed at Subway.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
6 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
Yes.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
I'm also going to go back through the other questions that were previously asked to the group when you were seated in the gallery. Have you ever previously served on a jury?
No.
Concerning the attorneys, are you related by blood or marriage, or do you know any of the attorneys or their staffs?
No.
Concerning the defendant, are you related by blood or marriage to the defendant, or do you know the defendant?
Do not.
As to the names of the witnesses, or potential witnesses, I should say, that were read out loud, did you recognize any of those names?
No.
Thank you. In this trial, and also during the attorney's questioning, you will hear certain terminology, such as burden of proof, presumption of innocence, and the right to remain silent. It is very important that you understand each of these concepts. I will attempt to explain to you burden of proof, presumption of innocence, and the right to remain silent by reading the jury instructions that are applicable to each separate concept. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty. This means you must presume or believe the defendant is innocent. The presumption stays with the defendant as to each material allegation in the indictment through each stage of the trial, unless it has been overcome by the evidence to the exclusion of and beyond a reasonable doubt. To overcome the defendant's presumption of innocence, the state has the burden of proving the crime with which the defendant is charged was committed, and the defendant is the person who committed the crime. The defendant is not required to present evidence or prove anything. Whenever the words reasonable doubt are used, you must consider the following. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt does not mean proof beyond all doubt. A reasonable doubt is not a mere possible doubt, a speculative, imaginary, or forced doubt. Such a doubt must not influence you to return a verdict of not guilty if you have an abiding conviction of guilt. On the other hand, if, after carefully considering, comparing, and weighing all the evidence, there is not an abiding conviction of guilt, or if having a conviction, it is one which is not stable, but one which wavers and vacillates, then the charge is not proved beyond every reasonable doubt, and you must find the defendant not guilty because the doubt is reasonable. It is to the evidence introduced in this trial and to it alone that you are to look for that proof. A reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the defendant may arise from the evidence, conflict in the evidence, or the lack of evidence. If you have a reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant not guilty. If you have no reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant guilty. In every criminal proceeding, a defendant has the absolute right to remain silent. At no time is it the duty of a defendant to prove his or her innocence. From the exercise of a defendant's right to remain silent, a jury is not permitted to draw any inference of guilt, and the fact that a defendant may not take the witness stand cannot influence the jury in any manner whatsoever. The attorneys at this point are going to have their opportunity to ask you some questions. What they say now or at any other time during this trial is not to be accepted by you as evidence or any instruction on the law itself. They are simply going to be asking you questions. Please do not infer anything or read anything into the questions that you will be asked. Before I turn over the inquiry to the attorneys, let me remind you to please answer their questions honestly and forthrightly, and also volunteer any information that you believe may be important. Is counsel for the state prepared to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court. Well, congratulations. It's a compliment, I think. So I'm going to ask you some questions about some legal concepts today. It's not the trial. You're not going to hear any evidence in the case today. As the prosecutor, it is my burden to prove the case to you beyond a reasonable doubt through evidence, which we will do. I'll be assisted by Sarah Catherine Dugan in doing that when the trial actually starts. But for jury selection, we're just trying to get sort of your ideas about concepts and issues that we think might come up during the course of the trial. And it's important and will be less painful, certainly for me and probably for you too, if you guys will participate and raise your paddles and answer. And I'm going to attempt to not say names and only say numbers. So this is obviously an important case. I know some of you probably don't mind speaking up. Many of you probably are shy and less likely to speak up. So I would encourage my shy guys to please participate as well, because your voice is just as important. Let's see. So I want to identify sort of like my leaders on the group. Do I have folks that supervise people at work or have supervised people in the past? Start on the first row because I'll probably have several of you. Juror 2.
Yeah, construction manager, so local volunteers, 30 volunteers all day, Saturdays, building houses. So.
Some cats to herd there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the first row? Yes, sir. Number 7.
So coordinating, organizing, volunteer teams, and then I've had as much as 6 staff report to me.
Okay.
My previous job.
All right, thanks. Anybody else? First or second row? Leadership, staff, and I would include head of an organization or something like that if that's part of your resume. Number 8.
I'm a GIS project manager, so I have about 8 people that work under me. They're all students. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid.
Okay, thanks. 9.
I work as an impromptu team leader for our department whenever there's any issues or need assistance.
All right. How many members of the team?
About 10 on a good day.
Okay. Number 23.
I supervise 2 spray technicians at FSU.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Second row. 11.
20 years in the military, about 15 of those in various leadership roles.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your service. 13.
Did 8 years in the military, about 5 of that in leadership roles. Currently a lead pastor of our church.
Okay. And you supervise the staff there?
As the volunteer staff, and then I'm the lead of the elders that we have at the church. I'm the lead elder as well, supervise them.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else over there? Third row. Yes, sir. 16.
Previous work, I was in charge of a team of 3 for a warehouse, and current job, I am frequently one of the people training new employees.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else in the back? 17.
I currently have a direct reporting team of 6, as well as a member of like the Matriarch resources as part of my work.
Okay. Anybody else in the back row? Yes, ma'am, but you're not going to tell me, or... I know. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Anybody consider yourself a leader, like you just identify as that type of personality, even though you haven't raised your hand as somebody that necessarily supervises others at work? Okay. For my guys that haven't spoken up, you know, obviously we want a jury that delivers a verdict that's your verdict, right? Even if you're a shy guy, I feel like maybe you qualify number 6. Shy guy? Probably not so shy at home, but shy in this setting. Okay, do you find this setting a little intimidating? Anybody find this setting a little intimidating? Show of paddles? Okay, I mean, it can be, right? Nobody likes to speak in public to begin with, and then we've got a lot going on here, a lot of people in the room and so forth. So if you were feeling shy or feeling intimidated by this setting, but you were chosen to be on the jury, would you be able to sort of stick to your guns, have your voice heard back there, make sure the verdict that comes back is your verdict? Anybody feel like they would struggle with that? I'm just not the guy that's going to like push against the grain. Okay, 21, tell us. Okay. This particular setting, do you think if once we kind of roll along, if you're selected and you start hearing evidence and all that, you'll start developing opinions, and at the end when you're asked to deliberate, would you feel confident speaking up if you had a difference of opinion with your fellow jurors? Okay, so you think you might struggle with that. So whoever was in charge back there would really have to ask you what's your opinion. Okay. Anybody else feel like juror 21, like you might struggle to speak up? Okay, Bree, tell us about you.
I have pretty bad social anxiety and actually public speech. I had to take the special accommodations public speech class, and when I went to FSU, out of like 500 people in the class, 20 people had to do that, and of those 20 people, I'm the only one that cried. So,
well, you're doing great. You haven't even cried yet. You're on a roll. Okay, so the foreman may have to draw it out of you, but you would be able to speak your opinion if called upon to do so. You're just not the guy that's going to interrupt and yell and get over everybody else.
Right, and
okay.
I don't know when the appropriate time to ask is, but on Tuesday I mentioned a medical constraint, and I did bring a doctor's note with me.
Okay.
And I haven't had
all right.
an opportunity to mention that yet.
Okay,
so,
thank you for mentioning it, and we'll probably take that at sidebar at some point. So, yes. Anybody else have something they need to tell us at sidebar, medical or otherwise? All right, so for my folks that have been on a jury before, raise your paddles again, front row. Yeah. Okay. Was it a good experience? A bad experience? Don't really remember.
It's good. Yeah, an eye-opening experience to see how the inner process works, and Go through it, yeah.
All right, that's number 2. Number 22? Was it an okay experience for you?
It's not bad. Something new. We consider we come from different countries,
Mm-hmm.
different government system.
Yes, so helped you learn about our system a little more, see it for yourself? Okay, that was a 1-day trial, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. It's a good primer. Second row? Yes, number 9. Did you have a good experience or otherwise?
It was interesting, to say the least. I think it was
Okay.
done a bit differently than usual, but the judge.
Was it here in Leon County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think the judge had the jury excused every time the lawyers needed to speak with him, which was pretty much every other 10 minutes.
Oh, so it was a lot. You got your steps.
Yes.
Okay. Well, better than going to sleep in the chair, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Second row. Third row. Good experience. Bad experience. Number 17.
It was a positive experience. It was a 1-day trial.
Yeah. Oh, those are nice for jurors. They're no better than 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's going to be more on the 2 side. Don't hold me to that, but for your planning purposes. All right. Anybody else? Jury service people. Yes, 19.
It was okay. Not something I want to do again.
Yeah, I'm not going to deduce from you saying it was okay that you want to do this. I know it's a big ask and a huge imposition on you, and I don't mean to minimize that at all. I just want to know if it was okay. You know, sometimes juries walk away traumatized or, you know, they argued back there or whatever, so I just want to know if it was anything like that. So you didn't have any...
No, there was no like yelling or anything.
Okay, good. And for all my folks on a jury, without saying what the verdict was, were you able to reach a verdict? The ones that deliberated? Everybody did. Okay. All right. Anybody have any legal training on the panel? Okay. Number 22, you said you work at the AG's office, but I don't think you said in what capacity. What type of work do you do? Okay. And your husband, state of Florida, but what type of work?
He's working public record in Markel.
Okay. All right, so I touched on this a little bit already. The burden, and I think the defense will emphasize this, is mine, so that means that I have to prove the case to you with evidence. It's completely my burden, the whole thing. So they don't have to do anything. They don't have to put on witnesses. They can do their nails, read the newspaper, not participate at all, which of course we don't expect they'll do. But they don't have to prove anything. That's really important. So you've heard no evidence right now. If you were asked to render a verdict right now, it would of course be guilty, right? Because you've heard no evidence. And the only place the evidence is going to come from is this table, right? The state. It's innocent until proven guilty. We prove the case. Would you like to hear from the defendant? Sometimes that's a question. Human nature, yes, but you cannot require the defense to prove anything. Everybody understand that? Yes. It's the way our system works. Okay. All right. Reasonable doubt. You heard an instruction on this, and lawyers tangle with this at jury selection all the time and do a pretty poor job. Probably will not be an exception, but the idea is nothing can be proven to you beyond a mathematical certainty, right? If you knew for sure that a thing happened 100%, it's because you saw it with your own eyes, and that makes you what? A witness, not a juror. So you're going to have to make a decision based on the evidence. And it is a very high burden. It's the highest burden in the land, right? It's a high burden, and it should be. But it's not impossible to convict a guilty person through evidence. You're not going to have 100% mathematical certainty because that's not possible. So the example I use, which probably isn't a great one, number 1, did you drive here today?
Yeah.
Where'd you park your car?
Parking garage.
All right. Is your car still there?
I hope so.
You hope so, right? Do you have a reasonable doubt that your car is there where you left it?
No.
Okay. No. Right? Because the evidence says he parked his car there. Did you lock it?
Yeah.
You locked it. Is there any security there?
I mean, yeah, I think so, but who knows?
There's security there. Okay, so he has no reasonable doubt that his car is where he left it. If he gets there and it's not there, he's going to be really surprised. Now, if we change the facts, he left his car there, he didn't lock it. There's no security. There were 2 or 3 very suspicious looking guys lurking around the car when he left. And when he left, he said, "You can have it if you want it. I left the keys in it." Okay, no, we're starting to change the facts, right? Now he has a reasonable doubt that the car is there. He basically invited somebody to take it. All right, so you as the jurors will decide, is this doubt reasonable or not, right? So I'm gonna say a bunch of words and they're gonna say a bunch of words, but ultimately at the end of the day, when you get back there and you're assessing a doubt, I have a doubt. Well, tell me about it. You talk about it. Is it reasonable? That's your question, right? And you decide what's reasonable or not. Okay? Shaking of head.
Parties can approach briefly. Juror 24, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I'm retired from the United States Postal Service as an electronic technician, and I was a veteran in the United States Navy.
What is your marital status?
I'm married.
What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
She's a nail clerk.
Do you have children?
I have an 11-year-old boy.
And he does not work.
He does not.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
Since 97.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
I do not.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
I have a brother who was convicted of armed robbery.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No.
Also, to inquire as to the other matters that the court previously raised, have you ever served as a juror previously?
No.
As to the attorneys, are you related by blood or marriage to any of the attorneys, or do you know the attorneys or any of the persons that are part of their staffs?
No.
Are you related by blood or marriage to the defendant, or do you know the defendant?
No.
Concerning the names of the witnesses that were previously read out loud, do you recognize any of the names of the potential witnesses?
No.
Thank you. Juror 25, what is your occupation or your type of work?
I am a sales account manager.
What is your marital status?
Married.
If you can just say it again and try to speak up as much as you can.
I'm a sales account manager.
Thank you. And your marital status again?
Married.
What is your spouse's occupation if they work?
He works in sales.
Do you have any children?
I have two. I have a 4-year-old and an 11-month-old.
And I assume they do not work.
No, sir.
How long have you lived in Leon County?
5 years.
Do you have any close friends, neighbors, or relatives that work in law enforcement?
No, sir.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been charged with a crime?
My 4-year-old's father has previously been charged with felony drug-related stuff.
So you don't know the exact name, but something relating to the possession of drugs.
Yes, and distributed.
Have you, any close friends or relatives, ever been a victim of a crime?
No, sir.
Going back to the other questions that the court previously raised with the group, have you ever previously served as a juror?
No, sir.
Are you related by blood or marriage to any of the attorneys, or do you know the attorneys or their staffs?
No, sir.
Are you related by blood or marriage to the defendant, or do you know the defendant?
No.
Concerning the names of the potential witnesses that were previously read, did you recognize any of those names?
No, sir.
Right. Ms. Kappelman, you may continue at this time.
For my new folks, any leadership or management experience, maybe in your time in the Navy or elsewhere?
I was a supervisor for several departments when I was on board the aircraft carriers.
Thank you. And number 25, do you manage anyone currently?
Aside from my children.
Yeah,
that's not currently, but I do have about 7 years in like leadership experience.
Okay. And is that in the sales world?
Yeah, sales, customer service related.
Okay. Did you hear my spiel about reasonable doubt? Feel like you're getting your head around that one a little bit? Okay, same with you, sir. Okay. All right, well then we will keep it moving. Jury decides the facts, and you'll be the judge of the facts, not of the person. We're not asking you to render judgment on anyone. But still hearing that, some jurors sometimes feel like this is too heavy, this is a very serious case. Is there anybody that feels like, I'm not sure I could make a decision knowing how serious the case is? For whatever reason. First row? Second row? Third row guys? No. Okay. So your job will be to hear the evidence and to make a decision. Have these crimes been committed, and is this the person that committed the crimes? Judge of the facts. And the judge is going to give you all the law that you need. You don't need any legal training. Please don't do any research on the law. And his job is to sort of referee what comes in as evidence and make sure the rules of evidence are followed in the courtroom. The judge's job also includes sentencing, so you will not be asked to make any recommendations or determinations about sentencing at all in this case. Does anybody feel like I would still be worried about sentencing, even knowing that you're not being asked to make any decisions about sentencing? Number 20. Would you be worried about that at all?
No.
Wouldn't worry about it. Can you set it aside? Number 18, or is that something that would weigh on you?
Can set it aside.
Okay. Anybody feel like I would worry about that? All right, many of you have had some kind of interaction with law enforcement. Significant, meaning they've impacted you in some way personally. I mean, if you had a DUI 20 years ago and it was handled fairly, I don't need to know more about that. But if something has really colored your view of the criminal justice system or impacted you personally, we had some folks that had some quite serious. Who thinks work well? Just raise of paddles. I'm a little broken. Okay, I'm seeing a couple little paddles. A little broken, not perfect.
Not perfect.
Not perfect. We can all agree with that one, I think. Anybody feel like you have such strongly held views in that regard that you think it could impact your ability to follow the law and render a fair verdict in this case? Seeing shaking of heads. Okay. Anybody had a bad experience with law enforcement? I know I'm asking the same question 3 or 4 different ways, but I just want to make sure I'm catching everybody. Yes, sir. 24.
I was pulled over. My plate came up with a stolen plate from another state, and I had guns drawn on. When you have guns drawn on you, it's not a fun thing.
It's a bad experience.
Yes.
Anything about that you think might interfere with your ability to do your job in this case?
They offered a lot of apologies after that, and the guy said,
"Too little, too late."
Yeah, it was. And I was.
Before you continue, I'm curious. Did you have on the mail carrier uniform?
I had my uniform on, but I'm an electronic technician.
I see.
Fix machines.
Please continue, Ms. Kaplan.
All right. Law enforcement officers. So several of you have either backgrounds in law enforcement, yourself or a close friend or family member that's been in law enforcement or is in law enforcement. And the reason why we inquire about that is because we want to make sure we have jurors that, obviously, you heard my list. There's quite a few law enforcement officers on the list. So jurors that can listen and be critical of law enforcement, so open-minded. If you learn that they have specialized training and experience more than the average person, then great, you can believe them more than the average person. But we don't do that just because they're wearing uniforms. So we don't automatically believe everything they say. We don't automatically disbelieve everything they say just because they're law enforcement. Anybody feel like they struggle with that? And the defense may get up and say, okay, your dad isn't a law enforcement officer. Don't you automatically believe what law enforcement says? And maybe that was true before coming in here. Probably not for you. but the instructions of the court are level playing field. Can everybody apply the instructions of the court on law enforcement? Okay. They can make mistakes, right? They're also not perfect, like the system. Okay. What are undercover operations? Anybody know? Volunteers? Just letting me flounder up here. Number one, undercover operations, like a law enforcement operation that's undercover. What does that mean?
When the people don't know that the cops are there trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, like the cops are posing as not cops.
Right.
Posing as someone else. So they're tricking somebody, right? Anybody uncomfortable with the idea that law enforcement is permitted legally to pose as somebody else and trick criminals to get information and to solve cases? Anybody feel uncomfortable with that? What do you think?
The benefit of it, I think the technique in which it is executed is the one that catches my attention.
What do you mean?
So if somebody, it all depends on who it is that they're going after, this subject that's how to entrap people.
Yes. Okay. Entrapment would be crossing that line.
Who are not intending to commit a crime. I would take issue with that.
Okay. So entrapment would be exceeding their authority to pose as someone else. But for the sake of this argument, let's assume it's not an entrapment. So that's not fair. That's not cool. What do you think, 11?
I think if there's justifiable means to be there doing undercover work, then I'm okay with it.
Is it necessary, though? What do you think? 5.
It depends on the context of it. Sometimes it is necessary. I mean, I feel like for police officers, because depending on the crime that's committed, police officers not always go in. I mean, it depends on, like you said, entrapment. It depends on the context of the situation.
Sure.
If you're trying to entrap criminals, whereas if you're trying to just, how do I word this? Depends on the context greatly, because you can't legally try to coerce them into a crime.
Right. Hey, I'll give you $50 to take this crack rock over there and sell it to that guy. That wouldn't be okay, right? But what about posing? Typically we think of, narcotics operations, if you're trying to infiltrate these higher levels where you really can't have access to investigate those people unless you send someone in posing as a fellow Confederate, right? Everybody okay with the concept? Everybody okay with the concept? Within limits, of course. Okay. What is premeditation? This is a premeditated murder. What does that mean?
It's like you planned it.
It's like you planned it. Okay, that was Juror 23. So what type of evidence would show premeditation?
Bloody footprints, clothes, a weapon.
Okay. How does that show the operation of the mind, though, the intent?
Oh, well, if you find somebody with their fingerprints on the weapon, then that's not admitting full guilt right there. But that's pretty damning evidence.
Okay. Yeah. What about for intent, though? Number 16, what do you think? How do I prove premeditation? I didn't just haul off and kill someone on a whim. I thought about it. I had a conscious intent that crime be committed at the time it was committed. How do I prove that? How do I prove what someone was thinking?
I think we would have to rely on evidence that predated the moment of the attack. So if you had any sort of records or definite plans or things that were found,
map of the bank, right? That's how they do it in the movies. They roll it out on the table, get the blueprints and that sort of thing. What else? What other type of evidence might prove intent? 15? Can you think of anything else? Conversations. I'm going to kill that guy, right? That's pretty good evidence that you plan to kill the guy. What about motive? Motive, would that be important to your consideration, number 7, of intent?
Yeah, I think so. There would have to be some sort of justifiable cause where you could empirically say that would lead a person to premeditate an act of aggression on the victim for X, Y, and Z reasons.
So you kind of want to know why, right?
I think we'd have to know why.
Well, I mean, sometimes you can imagine a scenario where the manner of the killing might prove intent.
Sure.
You know, shooting once is different from shooting 100 times, right? As far as if you're trying to evaluate intent. So that could be part of it. But certainly motive is very important, and jurors want to know why. So the why could potentially be important. Everybody agree with that? What do you think? 12. Any other ideas of what type of evidence? Like, how are you going to prove? You see the problem. How do you prove what someone was thinking?
Right, certainly any records that they've considered it, discussed it, solicited someone to help with it, or done searches about how to efficiently execute the crime beforehand, and that sort of evidence.
Okay. Would you be open to all those types of circumstances to try and show what the person was thinking, as opposed to the type of evidence I laid out right away, which was, I'm going to kill that guy.
Right.
And that's great. But if you don't have that, can you evaluate all the other circumstances?
Yeah, and you have to see if they push you beyond the reasonable doubt.
Yeah. Any other type of evidence, let's get away from premeditation, but in general that you would expect to see in a case like this, a particular type of evidence? Number 23 mentioned fingerprints, clothing, anything else like that that you guys are kind of expecting?
Financial records.
Gun residue?
Financial records.
Financial records? If it's, what kind of financial records? Why would you be expecting that in this case, or a case like this?
If, from what we were told earlier about the case and the charges, if you're soliciting it, setting aside money, or, you know, transferring money to someone, or
Right.
something.
So if it's a murder for hire, you'd expect some kind of money to be involved, some type of transaction. Okay. Somebody else down here? Text messages, phone calls. Okay. Yes, sir. Number 6.
If I remember correctly, came from.
I'm sorry, we can't hear.
If I remember correctly, I remember hearing coming from Miami to Tallahassee, so like gas station receipt.
Okay. Some evidence of that travel. Okay. What else? It's so fun when y'all help me better. Okay. So you know it's a murder for hire. You know there's more than one person involved. You, though, as jurors in this case, will only be asked to decide the involvement and guilt or not guilt of one criminal defendant. Are you able to set aside your thoughts and feelings about the other people that may be involved in the case and focus your verdict? How does the evidence relate to this defendant? Everybody feel like they can do that? Okay. If the evidence shows that the defendant is not the one that pulled the trigger, does that make a difference? What do you say? Why are you shaking your head no, number 15? Why doesn't that make a difference? Okay, so even if you don't pull the trigger, you can be charged with murder? But what?
I'm sorry, we can't hear.
Please speak up, number 15.
Okay, you could be charged with accessory, but you don't think murder. Who else, by a show of hands, thinks if you don't pull the trigger, you cannot be charged with murder? Nobody? Why not? Number 2.
If you're, if you hire someone or something like that, definitely you're not committing the crime personally, but if you're telling someone else to do it and they do it, then that, I think something pretty close to it, yeah. I mean, maybe not murder itself, but there might be some type of
Maybe not murder itself, but it might be something close. What do you think? Number 20.
It's the way the law is written.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to pull the trigger, but you can still be charged with murder. The law allows that you can still be charged with prohibited action.
Okay. According to the law of our state, and the judge will give you the law. You do not need to know the law. I tricked you, and I'm sorry. But you can be charged just the same as if you pulled the trigger if you also did some act or said some word to cause that murder to be done, some affirmative act to cause that murder to be done, and you intended it be done. Okay? It's called a principle. So, court reporter and I are going to do a bank heist, and we know when we go in there, the first thing we're going to do is kill the security guard. Okay? That's our plan. We both understand it. That's what we're going to do. But I'm the shooter. She's the bag lady. She's going to get the money. We go in there, we do it, we're successful until we get caught. We can both be charged with first-degree murder of that security guard, the same as if she had pulled the trigger. Is that fair? How is it fair? 23.
Y'all planned it together.
But I pulled.
I didn't hear you.
Y'all planned it together.
But I'm the one that pulled the trigger. Shouldn't I be worse off than her?
She knew what was going to happen.
She did. That's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So you agree with that law?
Yes.
Anybody disagree with that law? I do not think it's fair. It should be, as juror number 2 thought walking in here, something close to it, but not exactly the same. Okay. Now that I gave you the spoiler, you won't admit it. All right, so number 2, knowing that now, would you be able to follow that law? Yeah. What do you think, number 15? If the law says we can both be convicted of first-degree murder, and it's proven, would you be able to convict her of first-degree murder even though she didn't pull the trigger? You would be able to follow that law.
You cannot hear him.
Number 15, please speak up as much as you can.
Yeah.
You would. If there was a law that the judge reads you in this case that you did not agree with, would you be able to follow it anyway, or do you think it would be incumbent upon you to do what your gut is telling you? What do you think? Number 16?
Since it's we're here to decide if something followed or broke the law, I would go with the law.
Go with the law. Number 8?
Yeah, definitely.
Follow the law no matter what, even if you don't like it?
Yeah, it's not me to decide the law. It's just for us to stick to it.
Okay. It's the legislature's job. We're going to leave that to them. Okay. What is a conspiracy? Volunteers for that one? How about you, number 14? What's a conspiracy?
I'm not sure, like the legal stuff.
You don't need to know the legal stuff, just what's your idea of it? Come and speak.
A group of people getting together or saying they have anything that they're doing.
Please speak up, number 14.
A group of people, I'm trying to say a definition without using the word conspire.
Yeah.
It proved my point, but I'm stumbling to do it.
Getting together to do something?
To make something happen with
Okay.
other reasoning behind it.
Okay.
I'd like to say that it doesn't even have to be a group. You can conspire to do something alone.
Number 8, okay. Is that what you're doing right now? You want to tell us something? Okay. Do you all agree that a conspiracy can be evidence circumstantially? And what I mean by that is, and this is hard because we can't talk about what the evidence is, but I'm asking you to imagine that it could be proven to you that people conspired to do something without an express, we're going to, go in and kill the security guard, without that being expressly stated. Can you imagine other evidence, circumstantial evidence? For example, we walk in, and I walk directly over to the security guard and blow him away, right to the head, right? Immediately. And she says, in front of everybody, yeah, just like we planned. Okay? That would never happen. But, okay. Okay, it's not in the plan. The conspirators generally don't write out a manifesto where they say, this is going to be my role, and this is going to be your role, and this is what we're all going to do. But you can infer it from the circumstances, the way the crime was done, the other communications in the case, the other evidence in the case. Can you be open to that? Nodding of heads.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Does it matter how long it takes to make an arrest in a criminal case? You guys all heard the statement of the case. This crime occurred in 2014. Number 6, how old were you in 2014? 9. Can you even care about something that happened when you were 9? Can you, sir? Does it matter how long it's been?
I think as long as the crime that you're being charged for is within the statute of limitations, I think it's fair to be arrested for a crime that you could have committed. Sometimes it takes years to build evidence and things like that.
Anybody feel like it's too long? 2014, I was 9. Everybody else, can you keep an open mind to evidence and a long investigation? So it is a circumstantial evidence case. Better, direct or circumstantial evidence?
Direct.
Direct. Everybody knows that, right? So powdered donuts. You have 2 kids. Who's got 2 kids? Well, your kids are too young to do this scenario, but let's imagine they're a little older. All right. So 2 kids, a bag of powdered donut, who happens to be the kid that really missed. And the kid says to you, my brother did it. What type of evidence is that? The statement, my brother did it. No, it's not. That's direct evidence. Direct evidence. I was here. I saw him eat the powdered donut. Never mind that I'm covered in it, right? That's direct evidence. As opposed to circumstantial, which is, what are the circumstances? Circumstances are, this is a kid that loves powdered donuts. This is a kid that just asked me for a donut. This is a kid that's covered in donut. All that's circumstantial, right? So in that case, which evidence is better?
Direct.
Okay, so can you keep an open mind to circumstantial evidence? It gets a bad rap, but I need you to be open to it. Can every